New details have emerged surrounding the death of Clark Atlanta University student Alexis Crawford. Police are now confirming that the college senior was choked and smothered, then dumped in a local park. Authorities say Alexis was arguing with her roommate, Jordan Jones, when Jordan's boyfriend, Barron Brantley, intervened and killed Alexis. Both Jordan and Barron are in custody for murder. Clark Atlanta student body president says their campus is stunned. Here's what they had to say.
It has been very hard. A lot of students have been trying to take account into what happened and just trying to find answers for things we can't find answers to.
It's important to note that days before she went missing, Alexis filed a police report accusing Barron of sexual assault. First of all, Alexis did the right thing. She went to the police and reported her assault, and still she was killed by her alleged attacker. So, Lindsey, who should be held responsible legally?
Well, it looks as if the way the case is coming in, that both Jordan and Barron, I believe, they're both being held responsible. It's a bit difficult because the information that we can only rely on is the information that's being told to the public. So the way I understand it, Barron did the choking and Jordan did the smothering. And it's such a tragic case and such a tragic set of facts. And also, both of them have been charged each with murder. It's not as if Jordan was charged with something less severe than murder. So we know that the way the information has come into authorities and to the prosecutor in Georgia, they've felt it at this time for it to be appropriate. And they feel as if they can prove that both Jordan and Barron committed murder in this case. I do want to highlight in Georgia, murder, one of the elements includes malice. And malice, in other words, means the intent to cause harm. And, you know, in my opinion, just looking at what's been put out in the public, the case has been made out. I mean, in the case of Barron, for him to go ahead and choke her, there's no other intent there but to have caused harm to Alexis. And with respect to what Jordan is being accused of, after witnessing someone choke your best friend, you then, for whatever reason, go ahead and take a black plastic bag and put it over your best friend's head. I mean, again, the intent to cause harm, just based off of what we're told, is made out. So essentially, if these cases go to trial, I mean, while it would be, it'll be troubling, right? Because a lot of information will come out about what happened that night. And of course, you know, I'm sure the prosecutors will bring out the fact that Alexis reported a sexual assault just days before that, and potentially that could have possibly have been the motive, regardless of the fact that it started off with a fight between Alexis and Jordan. We don't know whether it was verbal or physical, but that it was a terrible living situation, incredibly toxic. We don't know why Alexis was back at that home after reporting that. So there are a lot of questions, but despite that, it looks like, you know, unfortunately, it's a slam dunk in potentially finding both Jordan and Barron guilty of murder.
And they both allegedly helped to dispose of the body.
Yes.
Which is why she was missing for nearly a week before her body was found.
Yes, and I believe, based on what is being put out, is one of them turned on each other because it's either Barron or Jordan told police officers where to find the body.
So Atlanta, Clark, has a huge student population. So what advice would you give to young women on how to stay safe at school, where we're supposed to be safe?
I mean, I think you just need to be very aware of yourself, aware of your surroundings. This was her best friend, so it's kind of like, you know, you think you know someone, but you really don't. But if you were just, I mean, in this case, she was just raped by assaulted by her friend's boyfriend. So in this case, it's kind of like, all right, take yourself out of the situation. Don't go back to your apartment. Don't go back alone. Stay at somebody else's apartment and just try to, you know, make sure you know what's going on around you.
Right, because a lot of times we teach our girls to be wary of male company, but in this case, we have to be wary of female company as well.
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah, you just never know who's around you. You never know what their intentions are. And in this case, yeah, I think in this case, next time, you know, this is really, really hard because it was her best friend. It was really her best friend.
Yeah, it's sad
really
all the way
hard.
around. Mike, do you think this is a cautionary tale for both male and female students?
Yeah, it's I'm trying to think of like, I don't want to say like the right thing to say, but it's just like, it's just really disappointing. You know what I mean? Obviously like it's sad, but also like I look at it as like I look at Baron, I'm like, come on, man, like what are you doing? What's wrong here? And I know like there's the aspect of like, you know, you have you're a young woman and you're living with a friend of yours, and this is someone who's a boyfriend who's coming into the situation and messing things up. And so there's so many layers attached to it. And just like anybody watching, like if especially if you're a guy, make sure to just keep your guy friends in check and talk to them, because like shit like this shouldn't be happening. And it's just like it's just really unfortunate. It's very it's something that could be avoided. And also I think that just going forward, I think that anytime there is someone who's like in a relationship and they live together, maybe not have that significant other there without the full kind of consent and love of the roommate. You know what I mean? Because like if she's already like filing a complaint a week later, there's no reason why this person should be back
Right.
at the apartment.
Right.
You know what I mean?
In the same situation.
In the same situation. It's like, oh, we've already tried to avoid this at this time. So I think that's a thing for everyone just to be aware of. So,
Well, it's such a tragic ending to a life that was just beginning.